Your baby's close to you. There's someone out there.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's missing person case is Don. Also, today's person of interest is Olivia. Today's missing person case is Courtney.
Police, what's going on by 515th Street? What's going on there, man? We've been kidnapped. Hurry, please, Frank.
Hello? Hello? Oh, nothing more creepier than a freaking shaft. Hello? Good morning, everybody. Sorry, that was an old intro. So if you didn't see your name, I've got a banner for all my top supporters. So welcome I'm waking up. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. We cover murder, mystery to the paranormal. And today is the day, hopefully. It's pretty crazy. So happy Halloween to everybody. Like I said, I just woke up like 45 minutes ago, so bear with me. But we got a press conference in an hour, and we got a special guest. So I'm going to introduce him. This is Steve from True Crime Web. How you doing, buddy?
Doing fine, sir. How are you this morning?
Good. It's an honor to have you on. What do you think about all this?
Oh man, this is a day that we've been waiting for from the time of the arrest. And this is the start of a long process that we're going to see for the next year or so.
Yeah. If this all goes through, maybe 1 or 2 years to prepare for court and stuff, unless he cooperates. But from what I heard, he's not cooperating, at least for the last couple days anyway.
Well, after he gets some counseling and things, a lot of things can move pretty rapid.
Yeah, let's hope so for the family's sake. Thank you so much, Freya, for the €8.99 super sticker. Steve, before we get started, for those that might be new to your channel, do you want to give a little bit of your background?
Sure. I'm retired law enforcement. I had 20 years of service, started off in the jail, went road patrol, then into investigations, had all different types of training, and became a state certified crime scene technician, processed all different types of crimes, investigated all different types of cases from thefts, burglaries up to homicides, and had a pretty good career. And now I'm retired and decided to come into the true crime world.
Awesome. It's an honor. Let me get caught up in the chat. Good morning, Lady M. Good morning to all my mods. Thank you for all the hard work you guys do. And just thank you for everybody. We got a wonderful community. Just a quick thing I wanted to talk about, just for the guys in chat. If you can, there's a lot of people yesterday in the show, not a lot of people, but some people talking about the wife. If we could try not to bash her until we know more information, so I'll make it easier on my mods, because we don't know what she knew or not. I've heard rumors that she might have known something towards the end and actually helped, turn in some information. I don't know. That's just rumor. I just saw that on Reddit. So if we can just, try to not bash the wife until we know more. So that way we don't have any problems. But let me just get caught up here. Here's Tom Ann. This is a great birthday present. Laugh out loud. Oh, is it your birthday? Happy birthday, Tom. And it's Halloween. That's crazy. And today is the day. Happy Halloween, everybody. Thanks for helping with this, Steve. Thank you, Tom Ann, for the $20. Wow. Happy birthday. If you could show some love to Tom Ann. He's one of my top supporters and has been a great guy to have supporting me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Tom.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got caught up here. So, yeah, early for us on the West Coast. Probably whoever's on the other side in the UK, it's probably mid-afternoon. So it's probably, well, actually a little later than that, I guess. But we got True Crime with Shannon. And okay, I think we got caught up. So I thought we'll do just a little bit of his background, and we'll kind of talk about it, and and then also I did the audio comparison. If you missed it, we'll recap that real quick. Wasn't much to work with, but I think a lot of people enjoyed it and thought it kind of sounds like because I kind of chose a certain word. There wasn't many to choose from, but I kind of made cables and guys kind of line up, and a lot of people felt like it was a close match. So that was kind of exciting. So let me put up my top supporters there. And so let me add this to the stream. So this is our guy, hopefully. This is Richard Allen. He goes by Ricky or Rich. He is 50 years old now. He would have been approximately 45 when the crime happened. There's kind of some discrepancies on the height. What do you think? We see 5'4", and I've seen 6 feet. He's clearly not 6 feet.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's always going to be that. We've been arguing about the other suspects and persons of interest all for 2 years now, or for longer than that. But same here. People that work with him that have been on some of the shows says or comments have made that he is 5'6" or under. So we'll just stay with that right now. I haven't seen the official booking report on him, but that will be released at some point.
Yeah. Okay, so we got caught up on that. Perfect. So 180 pounds. Now this one's a big one, the blue eyes, because we always heard with the young guy sketch, not blue eyes. So that was a kind of a big shock, I think, because that was the stipulation with the young guy sketch, is that didn't have blue eyes. So and then it looks like he did have short dark brown hair when he was younger. Now it looks a little more gray. Still short in facial and goatee. The big one here is his address is right there, just 5 minutes away. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, that's hopefully, this does feed into one of the simplest things that could have happened of how he possibly got out of the crime scene without being seen. Either he walked, there's a path straight, from there. Just you're looking at just a mile or two through the woods that he could have walked. I think it's called Bridge Creek. It runs from Deer Creek all the way to almost his backyard.
Right through here, huh?
Yes. That if he went that path, of course, but for that to have occurred, what type of targeting, when did he start targeting, or is that something he normally walked as part of his daily routine? Because he was a hiker, I believe they have a lot of pictures of him on vacation, being active. And there's going to be a lot of debate about why he was there and when did he target them, and other issues of debates about co-offenders and everything. It's just going to be a mess until this morning. We're going to find some stuff out, though, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Gregory Steiner, thank you so much for the $20. He says, Happy Halloween to all the mob crew. Chris, Steve, this is the day. Thank you so much, buddy. Alma Slew says, a fellow employee said he was 5'7", and RA was maybe okay. So the employee was 5'7", and Richard Allen was maybe an inch shorter, so 5'6". That makes sense. Yeah, and it would make sense for him to put 5'4" to kind of go under the radar, and nobody would really question it because it's just a couple of inches off from his true height. So that would make sense.
When they do those bookend charts and they put you on the wall and take that picture, whoever hung some of those charts can be off an inch or two. And I've seen it.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Okay. Interesting.
And so they'll, it's just government being, whoever hangs up, their measurements may be off an inch or two, even on those bookend photos.
Yeah. Tom Ed says he was 44. Okay. So thank you for correcting me. Yeah, that's right. Because his birthday is September 9, 72. So, yep, that's right. So 44 on the crime date. He just turned 50 in September. That's right. Thanks, buddy, for the $5. Cut up here real quick. And mods, let me know if it's going a little too fast in the chat. I can always slow it down. Okay, so he lived at this address from 2006 to current. So he's been there for quite a long time. I have seen his background report. He has lived in basically Indiana for most of his, at least his adult life. I know at one point he lived in Monticello and then one or two other towns somewhere in Indiana close by. So, but this current address he's been there for 16 years. Okay. Karen Lee says chat is fine. All right, good deal. Green Dreamer, he matches for me. I'm shocked it took so long. Amazed. Yeah, he sounds like he just was your average guy. We've heard he was kind of funny and polite. So he does have an alias that goes by Craig Ross Renfro. Because it hasn't been long since I went live yesterday, so I haven't had a lot of time to do any extra research. But Tom Ed did kind of come up with a Facebook page with that same name. It's a guy that lives in Monticello, Indiana. And I know that he did have an address in Monticello. So maybe that was like a friend of his, years, a couple of decades ago. And maybe he used that name as an alias going forward. Not sure on that.
You got any predictions of what's going to be spoke about this morning?
I think those. I'm sure you probably would know more than me, but my guess would be probably they'll give us kind of why they're looking at him. I would love to at least hear if there's any connection with the Klines, just to either put that to rest. I really don't think we're going to hear anything about what actually took place. I think that'd be too much for a presser. But I think as far as him, it's going to be why did they pick him and maybe what they found. Yeah. Well, how about you?
I think they will most likely just simplify the position of that. If this is Bridge Guy, they're going to identify that he is Bridge Guy, and and they may simplify it further that he's also the lone actor as Bridge Guy, the abductor, and also the person who committed this offense of murder and killed him. And that is the simplest form that would be best for the prosecution, the state to approach the case from. Because when you get into conspiracies and you bring in other people in, it just clouds the issues and creates a lot of other offenders that have to have court dates, because they don't always try them all at the same time. But hopefully that's what they've released to us. They tell us for the as acting alone, we don't have other offenders that are still a threat to the community. And so I think that today's date is, and what they're going to say is just going to make the community feel safer, saying that he is a lone offender and acted alone, and we've got him, and we're about to take him to trial.
Interesting. Yeah, I could agree with that. I've always kind of felt, I mean, when the Klines kind of came along, before the Klines, I really felt like it was just one individual, because I felt like if there was at least more than one, more likely that means somebody's going to talk, out of the two or three or whoever, and more chances, that just means more DNA left, more chances of somebody talking. Ups the odds of them getting caught. So I always kind of felt in my gut there was one, but when the Klines kind of came along, then it kind of felt like there could have been, some kind of CSAM ring or whatever.
And that may still be the case.
Sure.
But if they release that information today is a different thing, because Libby and Abby were targeted at some point. We just don't know when they became targeted. Was it 2 or 3 weeks prior to, during maybe some catfishing, or through the Anthony Shots account, or were they targeted that morning just by some random encounter with Richard Allen on that trail? So if they're going to clarify that today or not, we just don't know.
Yeah. Thank you, Lee Trainer, for becoming a member and supporting the channel. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, we are going to watch the press conference here live on the hour, which will be in 43 minutes. I've got all the links. So, because there's multiple channels, there's HLN, ISP Lafayette, through Facebook. There's a lot of them, but we're gonna have HLN as our primary, and then I might do the ISP Lafayette as our secondary, just in case there's any problems. But I got the whole list ready just in case. There's like probably 4 or 5 places that you can watch the press conference. And if it's low, I got an audio booster, so it don't matter if it's, because these press conference never fail to be like low volume. That bugs the heck out of me. And so I've got a special program that'll boost the audio. So it don't matter if it's low volume, we'll still be able to hear it. So, all right, moving on. So looks like they did a search warrant on the 17th. Now you were out there in Delphi.
Yes, I was out.
When were you out there? Exactly.
Just prior to that, I took, I was working some other cold cases up in Indiana, and I had a host that was helping us and allowed us and gave us a place to stay. And while we were only about 20 something miles away from Delphi, so I did some work in Delphi, which when I got to that area, and I actually drove, just within a few hundred feet of his home, and went down the private drive, came back and everything. Of course, went to Marathon and a gas station that had been, information been released recently, and walked the trails, and spent about 3 days looking at Delphi also, in addition to the other cold cases. And it was changed my opinion of what possibly happened immensely. Absolutely. Boots on the ground, seeing the terrain and everything was very telling.
I bet. Oh, I've always wanted to go check that out. So they had the warrant on October 17th for that address and White Man Drive. Let's see. The residents were present, and the vehicle, a silver pickup truck, was taken by law enforcement. Neighbors recall multiple law enforcement officers leaving with multiple items from the home and digging in the flower beds of the home. And then it looks like they picked him up on the 28th, which is when all the news kind of broke about Richard M. Allen being in custody with charges related to Delphi. Let's see. Now, I guess this is the mug shot, from what I understand. Is that because there's been stipulation that this was his ID? What do you think? Is this look more like a mug shot or an ID?
It could be either or. It
Yeah.
does, and I don't know what if the jail facility has if when they take pictures if they put their height chart in it or not. But of course, I don't see a height chart in this, but it could be either or.
Yeah. What are the chances that Libby was texting with a predator KK that morning and murdered by a non-related predator that afternoon? I know that we've been thinking about that. Like,
Oh,
they're
yes.
going to have to change the definition of coincidence and put the Kleins at the end.
Because my everything I was doing was associated with that. As you know, everyone has to choose what rabbit they run to ground whenever they're out here looking at suspects or persons of interest. And the Klein thing was most certainly had taken a lot of people down a certain path, and it may be associated, but hopefully we'll find out within the next in the coming weeks.
Yeah. I respect both of you guys and choose to watch here because because of both of you. Hearing how prepared you are, Chris, makes me know I definitely picked the right channel to watch. Thank you so much, Judy. That means a lot. Yeah, it was a little tough because it's really early for me. I probably got like 4 hours of sleep, but I'm ready. I'm waking up. But yeah, we are prepared. So he did own a silver Dodge Ram 1500, 2013. This is not the exact truck, but this is the exact model and color of what it would look like. So he had a silver Dodge Ram 1500 that he drove, and now apparently, from what it says, is that has been taken into custody. So Richard worked at the CVS store just 5 minutes away from the bridge. I mean, everything was just like 5 minutes away. It was just right there, you know. He had his work, his home's right there. And then what's even crazy is that Marathon gas station, which is just on Washington Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just right there. So I could understand why they would want that footage. And so
Yeah. Speaking of vehicles, I don't know how many vehicles he owned during that time period, but they're going to find them all and they're going to process them all. So
on his background check, I only had the one. Now that doesn't mean he, there could have been others, especially maybe in his wife's name or, but I was able to get the VIN number. That's how I was able to get all the special details about this particular truck. So I was able to get his VIN. But yeah, that's the only one that popped up anyway on the one background. So this is really, I mean, this is typical small town, but this is really crazy. Is he actually printed the sketches for Tara German when she came into the CVS store, and then they didn't charge her, obviously, because this is for a good cause. But that's crazy that she would go to that store to get the sketches. But that, I mean, I guess that's small town. I've heard people say that's really the only closest pharmacy around. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but that would make sense.
And all that's going to play into the psychological profile they do on this individual from some of the stuff that you've covered. And like with this picture here with the bridge guy in the back of his processing and how he handles the situation and of what psychopaths like this how they can hide in plain sight, like has been repeatedly said by law enforcement.
Thomas says there was an interview with several locals. One lady said this will be the first trick or treat for her 10-year-old. Sad but glorious statement. Oh my gosh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, too afraid to go out, but now he's in custody. That's great. But yeah, it's crazy. Thank you so much for the $5, Tom. Yeah, that's really surreal. Freckle Joy, I'm here for the hot super cop laugh out loud. Thank you so much, Freckle Joy, for the $4.99. I agree.
Who is that?
Freckle Joy. Hey, I love Steve. He's amazing. and I am honored to have him on. So much knowledge. He is my mentor. Stephanie, thank you so much for the $3.99 super sticker. Okay, I think we got caught up. All right. Okay. Moving on. And so this was really interesting. I mean, I guess it's, small town, but here he is at the bar and you got the young guy sketch. What were your thoughts on that? I mean,
Well, like I said, these individuals, this type of, they don't think like we do. Psychopaths are a anomaly that they're born. They don't process information. They don't fear like we do. They don't process the information like we do. And that's the mistake of most of society is that you think you can think the way they do, and it's not possible. These people are absolutely something that when they act out in certain ways, such as we see what they did, what this individual did to Libby and Abby, it just shocks the world and shocks society.
yeah. Pamela says, Chris, do you know how they figured it out? It was him. Exactly, I don't. And I mean, I could speculate a few things, but I think we're going to learn in the presser. So I guess I appreciate the question and the confidence, but I think we'll wait till the press conference, which is just in a half hour. I'm sure that we'll get some details on what kind of sparked that. So I've heard rumors, but since we're so close to the presser. Now, this is no surprise to me. Richard Allen had a concealed weapons permit, which I've always felt like this guy, I think a lot of people did. He controlled these two girls with a gun. It'd be one thing just to have like a knife or a bladed weapon, but I think, to be able to control two girls, he needed, a gun to. What's your thoughts on that? You feel?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I agree. I think he presented it, and I think that was part of what's on that video that they never released.
Yeah. Steve, your knowledge is impeccable. Thanks for all your insights. From Tom in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the $5. I agree. When I was out, I just got back. I mean, it feels like I literally just got back out in the middle of the desert for 5 days looking for Dylan rounds. And I called Steve almost every day just to update him and just get some ideas on what I could do to, help the search. Now this one's interesting. Like I said, well, if you can, try to refrain from, please don't bash the wife, or bring up the daughter. Clearly, I'm sure the daughter had no idea. And I'm not sure if anyone knows in the chat. This might be like his second wife, because I've seen some Reddit posts by locals, and he's been married a couple times. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think that's his daughter on this.
Yeah, no, I know this is his daughter. I'm just saying
Okay.
Richard himself has been.
Okay.
And so I'm wondering if the current wife, if this is that would be her stepdaughter. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this was a daughter from a previous wife. I'm not 100% sure, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, this is eerie because this is a picture of his daughter when she was approximately 21 on the Monon High Bridge. She does have a lot of similar body type to Libby.
Exact same hairstyle.
Yes.
Just absolutely
really creepy.
unbelievable.
Really creepy. Thank you so much, Gil R, for becoming a member and supporting the channel. Thank you so much. So yeah, could that have been possible motive? If we get time, we'll look at the Google Earth.
And this is something about this person's, as far as Richard Allen's personality, that he would take family members there and take pictures of them to revisit the crime scene, and which that'll be part of the court case if it ever gets to court.
Yeah. I'm just gonna really quick get well, not YouTube. Where's the Facebook one? I just want to get my links all ready here. Okay. That way we're all ready. Okay. Just like I said, I've got the list of all the press conferences because there's, like I said, HLN, the ISP Lafayette Facebook page. So I said we're going to be prepared and ready for that. So let me move this. I just want to make sure I got that ready. Okay, cool. And we'll get it ready about 10 minutes early. So, all right, moving back on to our presentation. And then we'll listen to that audio if you didn't get a chance to listen to my audio comparison that I worked on yesterday. So here's a picture of his dog. I heard a rumor. Now, this is just rumor until we know more. But they possibly, what they dug up in the flower bed could have been animal, because they did find animal hairs at the crime scene. What's your take on that? I mean, I know it's just rumor, but
I mean, yes, of course, if they're digging up and they are looking for animals there, I mean, I'm a pet owner. I have several of our older pets that have passed that are buried in my backyard. So it would make sense that could be part of the search warrant. If they're looking for a certain type of hair, that's where you would look.
yeah. Let me just slow the chat a little bit for you guys here. Let's go 25 seconds. Oh, yeah, it is going pretty fast. So let me know how that is. Let me know if that. I think I might have done it a little too much. Let's go 20 seconds. Okay. Let me know how that is, mods, and if I need to fix it, we will adjust it. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker, Jennifer. Cassie, thank you so much for becoming a member. Let me just get caught up here. There was one video of his wife's Facebook page where someone are confusing a deceased brother-in-law of his with him, the firework video. Yeah, I heard about that yesterday because I had played it during my comparison, and yeah, so that is that video of somebody with fireworks. That's the brother-in-law or somebody, a relative of Richard, but not Richard. So he's a pharmacy technician since February 21st, 2018. So that's just a year and 8 days after the terrible tragedy happened. Okay, so here's some of the rumors real quick. They dug up the yard last night per the neighbor. Neighbor had reported that Richard stole something, and the cops came to look for it and apparently found evidence for the double homicide. You ever heard anything about that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep that as a rumor. They arrested him at work, CVS this morning. I think that's where he got arrested, correct?
That's what I heard. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, this other one, I think these are two. They've known about him for a while. Kegan Kline ratted him out as a second user of Anthony Schott's account.
Interesting.
Possibly. I've even heard Emily N is like a cousin of his, but like I said, that's just rumors. And then one more, a family friend told us that Richard voluntarily checked himself into a local mental hospital days after the homicide for a 30-day treatment. I've heard that by a couple locals now, which is interesting. He did have a problem with alcoholism sometime after the murder, but that's still just speculation until we learn more. So I'm going to pull up my my comparison real quick here. Where are you? There you are. So what do you think as far as the sketches with the young guy sketch?
I don't believe there's ever been two sketches created that look more like more people. I mean, it's been so confusing.
Yeah.
And so, um, what does it mean? I really don't even, like they've always said, a sketch is a sketch. It's not a photograph. It's certain parts that people may have uh, placed in their mind that saw BG that day, and it's represented somewhere's in here. And there's a lot of people look like this. So I don't know if the sketches will ever get into court. And I hope not, because it can confuse the issue because it, but we'll see once court gets here, that'll be a different set of circumstances.
Yeah. Detective Steve Face gets covered with jets.
That's
Just
fine.
actually just the bottom part. No, it's not that big. Oh, unless it's a double,
Yes.
unless it's a big one. Sorry, I can't help that. That's all on StreamYard. But he did have the nose. Like the young guy sketch had the nose. I think the artist, got the lips to nose ratio it's too short. They needed to drop the lips a little bit. Like I could not match this face to anybody except for like Ryan Reynolds. And even then I had to kind of stretch it out. But my biggest problem is this witness supposedly saw light facial hair. I just don't understand why the artist didn't put that facial hair on.
Like I said, we have the blue eyes and not blue eyes.
Yes.
Now we have this, and so that's witnesses. You know, uh, there's a lot of weight given on witnesses, but they may have misidentified the wrong individual. Don't know.
True. Yeah, that's true. But the nose, I'd say the nose is spot on with the young guy sketch. I mean, it's darn spot on. I'll give him that. And that's usually, I mean, when it comes down to sketches, there's a study that they're only really like 9 to 10% accurate. Like spot on. So it's usually there's a certain, because our memories aren't that great. So
I
we
mean,
usually.
They make these ID kits. It's almost like Mr. Potato Head that you can go in there and create some of these
Yeah.
sketches that witnesses go in there and they just place. And so there's a lot of generalizations in these sketches.
Yeah, the sketch looked like the governor at the time. Laugh out loud. Oh man, the governor and a couple. Yeah, yeah. The second sketch, the first sketch had the goatee. Yeah, this is what I've always had a problem with. The first sketch comes between a combination of the video and witnesses, but the witnesses saw a guy with a scarf over his face, so they wouldn't be able to see the facial hair. But yet this one has the facial hair. Then the young guy sketch comes from a lady, and she described facial hair, but this one doesn't have facial hair. So I just no wonder the community was so frustrated. The sketches were really a bad idea without coming out and fully explaining everything. Just saying, hey, put these two sketches together and bam, he appears. I think that really kind of,
Yeah. Well, hopefully the clarifications will be so much better from here on out.
Yeah. Okay. Let's play the audio one time that I did. So let me show you guys what I did here. Got all my audios from my video. Skip. There we go. So this is what it looks like, but I'm going to play the video. So if you were here yesterday, then you kind of already saw this. But for those that wanted to see the show yesterday, I took the guys down the hill, and this is what it looks like right here at the bottom left. It's real thin, it's narrow. What I do, because this is Audacity, it's a free audio program, and basically what you see here is the same audio But what I did is I ran this regular audio through some filters. It compresses it and then expands it back out, and it gives it more body. It has more highs and lows, and so you can hear a lot more things. And so I basically ran some filters, and then obviously I took the tram video where he talks a little bit. I took everything out of his wife, and it's just him talking. And then I tried to pick one word that would kind of match up with Guys Down the Hill. So I had 4 words to work with and probably 6 or 7 to work with from the tram video. And then I found Cables and Guys kind of was the most high pitch from each, combination. So we'll play that all together here. It'll get louder.
Where's the word show coming up? Where's the word show coming up? The word show coming up. The word show coming up. Cable snap. Where's the word show coming up? The word show coming up. Cable snap. Where's the word show coming up?
Okay, so now what we're coming up to is Cables. This is where, which is just right here at the top here is, oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. This is where I took the word Cables. And then I took the word Guys. As you can see, they're both kind of got the high pitch, and I kind of leveled them up. And let me know. I think a lot of people were pretty positive on I wouldn't say it's a direct match. Obviously, I'm not using the same words. It's different. So many variables, but a lot of people felt like it was close. So here's that part.
Cables. 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 Cables.
So yeah, it's it's not a direct match, but I feel like I can kind of hear his voice behind that, but pretty close for what we have to work with.
Yeah, the forensic audio experts that be brought into the case will, they'll bring more light to it that may be in court proceedings.
So let's remove that. Let's get ready, because I want to make sure we're all ready for today. So let me close that. Let me close this because we got 15 minutes. Move this and let me add. Let's see. Stop screen. Okay, present, share screen. Sorry, I'm just getting the HLN. We can probably listen to, because it looks like they have a little update on this HLN. So I thought we could listen to see what they talk about on this real quick. So let me get that all ready for us. Perfect. Okay, looks like it's couple of minutes. So let me play that. Let me know if you can hear this in chat.
The 13 and 14-year-old.
Yes.
It's been more than 5 years since Williams and German went missing after a hike in the afternoon. The 13 and 14-year-old girls were found dead the next day, but no one has ever been named a suspect. Our Susan Hendricks has been following this case from day one, has also visited with the families and the town. What do you know about today's update from police, Susan?
Robin, this feels reminiscent to the press conference April 22nd, 2019, where you and I spoke about this, and we were anticipating what would be said. All we knew at that time was that it would be a big announcement. It was imperative that we were there in Delphi, Indiana. Today feels similar. There will be an update. Other than that, we just don't know exactly what that update will mean. Will it be case closed? It's over, it's solved, obviously before a trial, if that's the case. But Becky, Patty, she is Libby's grandmother. I spoke to her about this, and she said she's very excited, feels extremely nervous in terms of the anticipation here. And today is the day, is what she has been posting every day on various platforms, Robin, and hoping that today will be the day. But they're ready for anything. There's been more than 50,000 tips called in to that hotline, and Kelsey, Libby's sister, has worked tirelessly to keep people up to date on this case. And they've been talking about it publicly for more than 5 years, and it certainly hasn't been easy. We'll be thinking about them as we're watching this, but emotional, hopefully, though, it is.
Okay, I'm going to pause that because we might have to commentate over that. But more than 50,000 tips sent to the police since February 2017. Wow.
And they're going to have to call in, and they're going to have to look at all those tips called in, and now that they have a suspect, and see and look at it under a new light.
Oh, right. So some of those tips that could have came in that for Richard Allen, or
Well, it may not just been Richard Allen, but it may have been another person that is actually Richard Allen at the time they didn't know.
Oh,
and so
sure.
They have to go back and verify and see, is there truly a connection or not?
Yeah. Sinclair says, not cooperation or de-lawyer up. I don't know. The last time I read, I heard, like I said, this is just speculation, but someone said that he wasn't cooperating, which, I mean, I guess it wouldn't surprise me in the beginning. Anybody's going to probably, try to deny it, I guess. All right, let's finish what she says. There's about 1 more minute.
Is some new information we are going to hear. Hopefully it moves in the direction of justice for Abby and Libby.
So this is expected at 10 a.m. then.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that whatever the developments are, the family gets to know first.
Yeah, we do know that they will know right before the press conference. Now, they do know more than we know at this point, but in terms of exactly what will be shown, what will be said. The last press conference, we saw a new sketch, if you remember, a new direction, so to speak, and there was shock and awe. And the superintendent, Doug Carter, even saying the suspect, the person, could be in the room. So you see kind of the superimposed both sketches. Now, the first one was released early on, and then the younger looking sketch, and there's been speculation about that. Becky Patty said, well, maybe it depends on who was there. And if you're younger, you think the person looks older, or if you're older, you think they look younger, meaning eyewitnesses there at the bridge that day.
Yeah, that makes sense as far as age, and a perception of age depending on an older person versus a younger person. That makes sense.
It does.
Jack Ringfield, yeah, it's going to be in 12 minutes. 12 minutes. It's going to start. So we're almost there. Let's finish this real quick.
February 13th, 2017. Long 5 years, almost 6. We're hoping for justice.
Susan, thank you so much. Susan Hendricks. And you can watch our special coverage of the major update on the Delphi murders starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, run until noon, right here on HLN.
All right. Okay, cancel. So like I said, I have that one, and I've got this one. Just quickly, you guys can't see the screen, but I'm just got it up. This is a backup just in case there's any problems with that one. Click on this link here. Okay. Okay, and let me click on that. Okay. Stand by for event. Stand by for live event. Okay. All right. So I've got the primary one, HLN, and I've got a backup just in case there's any problems with this one. So, but I'm sure HLN has got their thing. Let's kind of look up and see. Today's Monday. Live coverage is press conference. Tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. Find us on your keyboard. Click out to watch at HLN. Author will be airing live HLN. Okay, so this is it. Sorry, Steve. I'm just making sure
I'm
we get
with
it.
you. I'm with you. I'm my mind's spinning 1,000 miles an hour right now, just waiting for what's about to be said.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm just getting everything ready, guys. So just bear with me because we got 10 minutes to go, and I just want to make sure we're all ready for this. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to wonder, is that the one we're watching, or is it this one?
because it's really not about anything of us. It's all about what's going to happen in the courts and for these families and for the justice for Libby and Abby.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll sit here and wait through no matter. It just doesn't matter. I'm here for to get some news of what's and how they're going to seek justice for these two innocent little children. It was
Yeah. Okay. I'm just getting a backup ready. Okay. I'm going to use this one right here. Because there's the link, right? Okay, I got it. All right. Okay. Got it. Cool. We'll leave that one up just in case. Okay, so let me back this out. We're going to be starting here in just a minute. And I just want to make sure we got it already. Okay, so share screen. Share screen. We want the Chrome tab with Indiana State Police Lafayette. Let me close this one. Let me do this one more time so I make sure I got the right one.
I'm more nervous for you, Chris, than anything because when you hit the button to go, if it don't
There we
go,
go. There we go. We got it live. It starts. We already got people in here. So here it is, guys. We're in it. I've got a volume booster if needed because if anybody's done press conferences, they never fail to have volume problems. It never fails. Like 90% of them, they're too low. Nobody can hear them. It is the biggest problem. So I got what's called an extension for the Chrome tab. It allows you to boost the volume. So if we have that problem, we'll kick that on and we'll be good to go. So I got the volume on. Anytime this will kick on in about 7 minutes. Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps now. All right, we're all set up, guys. 7 minutes to go. I'm going to take a sip here. Oh, I missed a donation here. Tom Mann says, contrary to most people's beliefs, there are lawyers beating down the door to almost go pro bono on this case. Oh, yeah. Due to the fact of the public exposure and getting their name out there. What do you think, Steve? I totally agree.
oh, that's
It's a
going
high-profile case.
That could be one possibility, or court appointed or public defenders. I don't know how Indiana works, but he'll have representation. Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, because this is going to be a high-profile case if it goes to court. I guess we have to see what happens. But, yeah, if it goes to court.
Yeah, there'll be some court regardless. I mean, even if he pleads out, there'll be some court.
True.
Just like with BTK, there was a process that once he committed to and entered his guilty plea, that there's still a court process.
Yeah. Now, when the press conference is going, we're just going to listen, take notes. So if you donate or anything, I'll come back to it after the press conference because we don't want to, we don't want to miss a thing. So, but I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time and tuning into this channel. You guys are so amazing. We got 2,300 people in there. If you can, while we're waiting, smash that like button. It helps this channel. And happy Halloween for everybody that's just tuning in. I'm going to get rid of this banner so we don't have any distractions. And super excited. 5 minutes to go. Lou Bailey, thank you so much for the $2. Countdowns. It's going fast. I mean, for me, this hour went by like super quick.
And it's
I
going
wish
to be, it's going to
captions
seem
were
that way
better.
for a while, but
Yeah.
the process is slow.
Let's see. I want them off or on. I think there will be subtitles. I see CC down here. I don't know why this says off though. Trying to. Okay, I think there are CCs. I'm not 100%, but there is a CC option down here. So hopefully. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, 3 minutes. Jeez. The minutes are just going by like seconds.
You should have had a poll of how long everyone would bet that the
Yeah,
how long the conference would last.
do you guys want me to do full screen or do you guys want us like this? Thanks so much. Happy Halloween. Countdown is on. Pulse is 300, as Marianne said. Laugh out loud. Thank you so much for the $5. Let's see. Can we put? Let me hide us. What do you think? Like that? I think that'll work. Yeah. Because they're going to be in the middle. If not, we can remove ourselves, or I'll remove myself.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll turn my camera off so it doesn't interfere with the stream.
Oh, it won't matter. You're not going to
Okay.
affect the stream. No, you're good,
Okay.
buddy.
All
You're
right.
good. I think we're good. I think we're good right here.
All right.
I don't know if I can hide this chat though. I really don't want to press anything in comments and reactions. Oh, there we go. Bam. Woo. Okay. I think that's about as full as you can get it. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Let's go. 2,400 in here. Thank you guys so much. If you're just tuning in, thank you so much, Tom. Pull on average pulse count. Laugh out loud. Yes. Today's the day. Yep. I've got my notepad. Oh, gotta get my notepad ready. And my notes. Gotta take notes. Okay. 1 minute, guys. Okay, I'm gonna hide after this. If you like I said, if you donate, we'll come back to it. If you become a member, we'll come back to it after the presser. And let me get my volume booster out and ready to go, just in case. Oh, you can't even see my volume booster. Perfect. Oh, I'm nervous. Palms are sweating.
Yeah. It's like waiting for a verdict.
Yeah, it really does. Yep, it's full screen, Mandy. It's all there. ADM, we're going any second. It's going. Nope, here we go. I'm going to mute myself.
Good morning. My name is Sergeant Jeremy Piers, Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police Lafayette Post. I'd like to thank you all for being here and thank the Delphi United Methodist Church for allowing us to use their facility. This morning, we're going to provide an update on the investigation into the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Before we get started, I'm going to introduce to you our speakers, Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Doug Carter, the Carroll County Sheriff, Tobe Lesenby, and the Carroll County Prosecutor, Nick McClelland. I'd like to remind everyone that this continues to be an active and ongoing investigation. At the conclusion of this press conference, we are going to answer a limited amount of questions out of respect to the investigation and the process that will follow today. We will not discuss evidence that is related to this investigation. On behalf of the Delphi Double Homicide Task Force, thank you all for your continued support. I would now like to introduce to you our first speaker, Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Doug Carter.
Give me just a second here. Seldom do I have prepared remarks, but today is different because I do not want there to be any confusion or ambiguity with what I will say. Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation. First, I'd like to speak directly to Anna, Mike, Becky, Kelsey, your extended families, along with the entire Delphi community that certainly has grown and now includes our nation and even many countries around the world. I am proud to report to you that today, actually last Friday, was the day, and an arrest has been made. Thanks to literally hundreds of media outlets that have been steadfast in reporting and keeping the memories of Abby and Libby front and center. Many of you in the room have developed relationships with me personally, and you know I always have a personal perspective, and today's no different. But from a very personal perspective, you all have provided inspiration and support, even while oftentimes frustrated with us and me. You continue to encourage the efforts, and you too believe that one day we would all be here participating and sharing this news. To the entire law enforcement community, which includes all local, state, and federal agencies, which are far too many to specifically mention today, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to continue a very methodical and committed approach to ensure that if any other person had any involvement in these murders in any way, that person or persons will be held accountable. Since the murders of Abby and Libby 2,086 days ago, the daily investigative team has worked tirelessly and is certainly worthy of mention today. Specifically, Sheriff Lesenby, the Sheriff of Carroll County, Detectives Tony Liggett, Detective retired Kevin Hammond, former Delphi Chief and now the prosecutor's investigator Steve Mullins, State Police First Sergeant Jerry Holman, Detectives Jay Harper, Dave Vito, and Brian Harshman, along with members of the United States Marshal Service, specifically Agent Jeremy Clinton and Agent Bill Colfers. With them today is Dan McLean, the U.S. Marshal, appointed U.S. Marshal. Our State Police analyst, our scientists from many different disciplines within our laboratory division, Mrs. Kathy Shank, for your incredible dedication to detail, and to so many others that I know I've missed. I really believe that Abby and Libby would be proud of you for standing strong, even in the face of immense pressure and perpetual criticism. Some of these individuals have postponed retirement, passed on promotional opportunity, have dedicated personal time away from their families, given up nights, weekends, and holidays, all while in the pursuit of accountability for Abby and Libby. I know that today's announcement will not diminish your resolve, and I hope you have found just a bit of peace in this most complicated world. This is really important. While I know you are all expecting final details today concerning this arrest, today is not that day. Today's not that day. This investigation is far from complete, and we will not jeopardize its integrity by releasing or discussing documents or information before the appropriate time. Prosecutor Nick McClellan, of course, will share additional information about what we can and cannot say, and also explain to you why the probable cause affidavit is temporarily sealed by the court and not available. And by the way, he has been a tremendous asset to this team. I'm yet again asking you for your patience and please your understanding while our system of due process works. Also remember that all persons arrested are presumed innocent. All persons arrested are presumed innocent. You all will have an innate desire to subjectively interpret and then report what you think. We in the law enforcement realm cannot, and you should never allow us to, talk about what we think concerning facts, but rather discuss and share at the right time what it is we know. The time will come when additional details can be released. But again, today is not that day. It's about Abby and Libby, their families, and this community, this nation, and even our planet. The prosecutor has been very clear with law enforcement about what his expectations are, about what can and cannot be released, shared, or discussed. So we will, of course, comply. If you choose to be critical of our silence, be critical of me, not the front line. These are the folks that have committed their entire lives to a successful conclusion. In other words, a guilty verdict. As we move to the next phase of this investigation, I will continue to offer all resources that the ISP has to not only the investigative team that I anticipate growing, but also to Prosecutor McClellan as we prepare for the coming months. Again, Nick has been very resolute and very clear, and I'm most grateful for his leadership. And it's going to be really important as we move forward. Please continue offering tips that you would like to share. The many avenues to report will remain open and will be available to all. Please continue doing that. In closing, I stand before you in this church and very place where we held our first briefing nearly 6 years ago, and just hours after the murders of Abby and Libby. Right here. Pulling in today, I wasn't really sure what emotion I would experience. but peace came over me. And I didn't expect that to happen. And I hope all of you, with all the different responsibilities you have from around the planet today, have felt some of that as well. But remember, we're not done. I think what we all have experienced proves that together there's nothing we cannot do. But more importantly, giving of ourselves, all of us, giving of ourselves matters more than what we could ever receive. Abby and Libby, though in death, have had a profound effect on so many of us, on how we live, and as importantly, who we all should be. I would now like to introduce to you my friend and Carroll County Sheriff, Tom Libby, for his remarks. Sheriff.
I believe in a God of justice and righteousness. Today, I believe that same God has provided us with justice for Abby and Libby. As Sheriff of Carroll County, Indiana, I want to publicly and sincerely thank each individual who played a role in helping us during this 5.5-year investigation. Whether it was in an investigative capacity, providing tips, cards or letters of suggestions or encouragement, phone calls, and thousands of other countless ways of communicating. I earnestly thank those who prayed for this moment in time. We now move forward through the Indiana criminal justice system, allowing the system to provide its due diligence and process in providing that justice which is owed Abby and Libby, their families, and this community. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Nicholas McClellan. I'm the Carroll County prosecutor. And before we get started, I want to reiterate some of the things that Sheriff Lesenby and Superintendent Carter stated. I first want to thank both of them. They've been a great support to my office throughout this investigation. They've always been there for a phone call and always been willing to help a hand or a line of assistance to me and my office during this investigation. I want to thank the team behind me. This is the Homicide Task Force team that we've put together. Thank them and thank their families for being so understanding for the many nights they've worked away from their families, away from their children. There are many dates in a lifetime that you're going to remember. The date your children are born, the date you're married, the date you buy a first house, the date Abby and Libby went missing. One of those dates was last Friday, October 28, 2022. At that time, we had gathered evidence to formulate a PC that we submitted to the court, and the judge did find probable cause for an arrest of Richard Allen. He's been charged with 2 counts of murder for the murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. This investigation is still very ongoing. We're keeping the tip line open, the tip email open. We encourage everybody to continue to call in tips, not only about Richard Allen, but about any other person that you may have. For that reason and for the nature of this case, the probable cause and the charging information has been sealed by the court. I've been very clear to everybody that per the court order, we cannot talk about the evidence that's in the probable cause or the evidence that's in the charging information. That will become evident to you at some point and it'll be released, but right now is not that day. Today's about Abby and Libby, focusing on them. Mr. Allen has had his initial hearing. He's entered a preliminary plea of not guilty. The matter's been set for a pretrial on January 13th at 9 a.m., 2023, and a trial date of March 20th, 2023 at 9 a.m. He is presumed innocent. We will have an opportunity and day in court when we can present the evidence that we have against him. But until that day, he is presumed innocent. I want to open up to a few limited questions from the audience. But again, keep in mind, we are not going to talk about the evidence that we have in this case or about the charging information. We cannot. Those things have been sealed by the court. And so I want to open up a few questions.
Prosecutor, when did Richard Allen become a suspect? And do you think he acted alone?
Again, that's part of the investigation, so I'm not going to talk about those things. What I can say is that we have probable cause established by the court for his arrest, and he is in custody. He's being held currently without bond.
How long has he been a suspect?
I'm sorry? Again, that gets into the evidence we have of the investigation. And I know from everybody, it's frustrating. I know everybody, not only reporters, but the family, everybody wants to know more information. I understand it's frustrating, but my goal is to maintain the integrity of this case.
Superintendent Carter, you had said that you believe that you had spoken to the suspect or the suspect's family 2 years ago. Is this man one of those people?
Again, we're going to, I appreciate the question, but we're getting into the timeline of events, and today's not the time to do that.
Can you talk about how rare it is?
Family, I know you've had a lot of conversations with them. You were almost in tears pretty much when you started off this press conference. Can't imagine how emotional it is for everybody that's worked on this case. What was your conversation first like with the family, Matt? When you were able to tell them you finally got the suspect?
It was a very personal moment for me, and I think it was a very personal moment for them, for all of us that have had interaction with the family. We developed a relationship that I think is going to last at least one lifetime, and maybe a second. So it was a very, very, very sad yet a very humbling experience.
Superintendent, you asked for tips, you detective work, there was a reward for $325,000. Did this all come together to make this nexus? Is that a combination of all three things that led us to this day? Was it one or the other?
Well, eventually you'll be able to see what led us to this day, but again, today's not that day. To include the reward, you mentioned that, Raphael, about the reward itself, and again, very premature for us to talk about that. There's still a tremendous amount of work to do.
How much would you say that Abby and Libby have taught you in depth that we can remain to continue on with?
I think probably resilience and understanding the value of each and every day. That today was the day, but I didn't anticipate they ever thought today would be their day. And I feel like I've known for a long time. Excuse me?
Did you assume there's any other individuals involved in this case?
We haven't closed the door on the investigation. And so that's why we keep the tip line and the tip email open. And so we're not presuming anything at this point, but we're going to continue to take tips, continue to take any information anybody has. And as we've done with all the information we've gathered, we're going to look at that and examine that and see where it leads us.
You've asked the court, based on this investigation, that these documents should remain out of the public view. Can you explain, without getting into the details of what's in the documents, well, this is not regular. Usually a public hearing is held. We should be able to see all the documents, right?
Sure, sure.
You made a decision. Can you explain your decision as to why you believe that maybe for the next 30 days, no one in this room should have access to those records?
Sure. It is unusual. We don't do it very often in all the cases that we handle here in Carroll County. We did it in this case because the investigation is still open. And while all cases are important, the nature of this case has some extra scrutiny with it. And so my office, felt it was important to seal those records. There will be a public hearing on whether or not those records are going to remain sealed or not. There'll be public notice for that hearing so that everyone can attend, but there will be a hearing to determine whether or not they're going to stay sealed. But for now, to me, it's about protecting the integrity of this case. I want to have an opportunity at some point to have an opportunity in court to explain the evidence and for that not to be tarnished or tainted or anything like that. Again, he's presumed innocent. And so it was important for me in this case to do that. Hold on just a minute. We're not going to comment on that right now as part of the investigation. Again, we just encourage everybody to continue to call in tips if they have them about anybody, and we'll examine those tips. That's a hard question to answer. It's a mixed emotions. I've been watching the news all weekend like everybody else has, and I think a lot of the members of the public said it right. It's bittersweet. It's a step in the right direction. It's concerning that he's a local guy. So I think just different emotions. Again, this is a step in the right direction. This is the first step into getting into court and having a trial. And so.
All right. That concludes our press conference today. Shortly, I will be releasing a press release that will have his photo and a couple more details that'll also be here for handout. That'll also be on the Indiana State Police Lafayette Post Facebook page. Right after this press conference, I'm going to send it out. There's also hard documents in the back. Thank you all for taking the time to be here today, and be safe as you travel home.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Put a one, actually, no. If you guys can hear me, just put a yes. Steve, you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's what I should have said. Thank you so much, Lacey Ann, for becoming a member. So a little shocking, no details, but that kind of makes sense because it sounds like they don't want to tarnish the case, don't want to jeopardize it. Let's put it like that real quick. They might put out something. We'll see here. Maybe a mugshot with a few extra details. So what's your thoughts?
Oh, man. In law enforcement speak, there's a lot that was said in law enforcement speak. Of course, we got the 2 counts of murder.
Yep.
And then you have to, that the probable cause affidavit sealed. And then they made reference to they had the probable cause to arrest him. The most interesting thing I found by watching the law enforcement officers speak and the DA speak was the when Toe was talking, he spoke about the offender in almost a singular individual. Justice has been done. And then when the DA was speaking, he mentions he a couple of times, which is singular once again.
Yep.
And he did mention that they're going to keep the door open.
Yep.
That there is additional offenders or additional connections to other people. And is that going to be people that might have possibly interfered in the investigation, or is it co-offenders? Don't know, but they're going to keep that door open in case there are additional charges. But from my gathering of how and looking at my experience of people speaking and talking, it seems to be singular.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are disappointed, but I think that's for the long haul. They want to, they don't want stuff out right now until they get, everything, all their ducks lined up. So they have a trial date set for January 13th next year. I mean, that's just a couple months away. It might be pushed back, but we'll see. And then they have, so I don't know if this was the pre-trial was January 13th, and then the trial was March 20th, 2023. That's just around the corner, but that'll be pushed back.
Yeah,
I mean, they have to.
Yeah. You're looking at a case. They won't even have all the tips gone through by then. I don't think 50,000 tips, and they, and they did what I thought that, they're going to continue to ask for communities assistance by providing tips and keeping that door open. There may be other stuff out there, but sadly, there's going to be a lot of people stating a lot of opinions that and creating a lot of havoc out there. So we still have to be careful of the families of both the victims and of the offender's family, his work friends, relationships. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be looked at in the coming months.
Yeah. As soon as they put out that, hopefully they'll post it on their thing here. I'll keep refreshing the site. They said they're gonna, I don't know, it's what it sounds like, a mugshot with some additional information. So maybe we'll get a little more tidbits. But yeah, a little disappointing. But I mean, still, we should be excited. It sounds like they've got the guy. Possibly, the tip line's open, like you said. The probable cause affidavit has been sealed, but they said they're going to do a public hearing. They didn't say when. I was kind of hoping they would have mentioned that because they mentioned the dates for the trial, but they didn't mention this supposed public hearing for the affidavit to be unsealed. So, Thomas says they did clear up a few rumors, but left more questions than answers as usual. Laugh out loud. I guess this is what makes all of us followers so fascinated. Yeah, but it's I'm still excited. I mean, we should be happy that this sounds like it's going to come to an end.
Oh
but
yes, no,
we still
yeah,
got
it's
a
going to
road
come
to
to the
go.
end. It may not be the end that everybody, but they did say that at some point, all of this information will be open and released.
Yep.
So we just have to bear with that. They're
Yeah.
in charge of this, and they have a offender off the streets, a threat to the community, and we should be proud of that. And that the families of Libby's and Abby, and we'll be hearing from them. I'm sure there'll be
Yes.
some type of statement in the coming days by somebody. And I'm
Yes,
looking forward to whoever that person is.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it almost sounded like they were going to do it the same day, but maybe if it's Halloween, maybe they'll wait till maybe tomorrow or something. Because that was in that little, I think in my trailer that I had for today, that they said, they're going to have a press conference and then we'd hear from the family at some point real soon. So maybe today or tomorrow. I think maybe because of the holiday, maybe they'll wait till tomorrow. We'll have to see, but. I'm sure we'll get tidbits as it goes. Thank you so much, Joe Sunshine. Thanks for the live coverage. You're welcome. Lou Bailey, this is pretty big for people that have been following this case from day one. I'm very happy to find this channel to share my thoughts. Thanks, Mob Crew. Thank you so much, Lou Bailey, for the $10, and thank you for your support. Today is the day. Yep, like I said. What else did I write down? So, held with no bond. This is no surprise. The tip line is still open for Richard Allen and others, which, sure, now that we know we got a name, there might be tips that people have thought, oh, hey, I saw this guy do this, on this date that they can also use. Thoughts on that, Steve?
Oh, yes. I mean, if any, pictures have been made that he may have similar clothing. He hiked a lot. Did he wear those clothing? People he may have met on trails or at ball games or picnics, outings. Anyone in the community, they should check if they had relations with him as friends or parties that he might have attended, that he may be wearing some of that clothing or something. Hunting trips. There's so much stuff that the community can check and look at and still be able to say, hey, I have a photograph of R.A. wearing those pants, shoes, jacket, whatever. And so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can help law enforcement.
Yeah. Oh, let me refresh this. See here. I'm hoping for whatever they're talking about to pop up here. I'll have to... let's take a look. Let me pull this up real quick. I'm just curious if someone will post what they were talking about that they were going to hand out at the presser here. Oh, there it is. Okay, I've got it's the mugshot. Okay, yeah, so that was not his ID. Okay. Let me reset this for you guys here. This is what they released for the presser. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm getting ready. Stop screen, present, share, screen 2. There we go. So not much, but there's his mugshot. Doesn't look happy. Can we make this bigger? There we go. Yeah, that's definitely so that one was his ID, and this is definitely the mugshot there. Doesn't look like a happy camper, does he?
Nope.
So he had the long goatee going. So that driver's license, you know, because he had the short goatee. So, wow.
Yeah.
Charged 2 counts of murder, 50 years old, Delphi, Indiana. Interesting. Sarah Lopez, thank you so much for the $20 super chat, but you didn't put anything so much. Thank you so much. I can't talk. Still in a little bit shock and still feels surreal. But it's finally happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Tracy says puke. Yeah.
Well, I'm pleased with where we're at right now. And we have to just, go by what law enforcement tells us to do, what the DA has asked us to do, and support them and give them as much information to support the case. And that's all we can do.
Yeah. Oh, let's check this out here. I don't know if I looked into this here. Okay, I'll have to. Okay, let me pause it real quick because you guys can't hear it yet. So I'm gonna have to remove it. This is what I love about my OBS is I don't have to keep doing this. This is Indiana State. Okay, so that way you guys can hear the audio. Okay, let me quickly catch up on, and then we'll listen to this, see if there's anything new here. Tom Mann says the biggest info given out is he did plead not guilty. He lawyered up and ready to battle. The law enforcement is ready for anything the defense can bring. Spin doctors getting ready to do work. Yep. Totally agree. Thanks, buddy, for the $10.
Everything from stocking stuffers to cards. Code Chris40 at Shutterfly.
Developing this morning, we expect to learn more about a suspect in custody connected to the murders of 2 teen girls in Delphi, Indiana.
Now, the teens disappeared while walking on a popular trail 5 years ago. Still an unsolved cold case. Law enforcement, though, believes they may have nabbed their killer. CBS 2's Marissa Proman live in the newsroom with more about what we may learn in just a few hours. Marissa.
Well, a stunning break in this case, guys. That press conference set for 9 this morning. Police have stayed quiet so far, but our affiliate in Indiana now reporting a man named Richard Allen was booked in the Carroll County Jail in connection with this case on Friday. Now, if you're not familiar with this case, 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German disappeared in February 2017. Their bodies found just 1 day later in a wooded area about a mile from where they were last seen. Their deaths both ruled homicides. Now, this morning, our CBS affiliate sharing this photo here of Allen, a government source also.
So, yeah, that's clearly his ID. It looks a lot different from his mugshot. So,
confirming the image is a state-issued photo of him.
Oh.
Indiana State Police booked him Friday after
there's the
searching his
house.
home, towed his car.
Oh, see, I haven't really shown pictures of the house. So that's the house. Interesting. One of the most important news days of my life. Thank you for covering it so well. Thank you so much, Sarah Lopez, for the $5. You are welcome. Okay, so here is a picture of the house. Oops, let me hide this real quick so we can see.
His home, towed his car, and dug through a backyard fire pit. Investigators previously.
So they did do a fire pit there. I wasn't sure if that was being confused with the Klines, because the murder sheet kind of talked about that they were, while the Wabash search was going on, that there was digging in in a fire pit, a burn pit at the grandparents' home in Peru. I wonder if this was actually this one, or if they did that in both places. I don't know. I guess we'll find out at some point. If he had pled guilty, we would have gotten a lot more information. Probably. Yeah. Thank you so much, buddy, for the $5. Yeah.
only released these sketches of a suspect and a video of the possible killer that was found on Libby's phone. Now, one of the victim's sisters, Kelsey German, tweeted this Friday, "Just know how grateful I am for all of you. Today is the day." This morning, the arrest has the Delphi community fearing the worst.
I was shocked that it was somebody from the community, which is very saddening.
And to be right in the community and probably has joined all the group sites that I have from the beginning on Facebook, and just to see what's going on.
So over the years, investigators have reviewed thousands of leads, but no arrests have been made until now. This morning, we expect to hear from state police, the county sheriff, the county prosecutor, and the U.S. Marshal Service. We'll bring you those updates on this case right here on TV and our digital streaming service, CBS News Chicago, all morning long. Live in the newsroom, Marissa Perlman, CBS 2 News. Ryan?
Hope you feel better, Sandy. Oh, my grades are no fun.
And just under a mile at Val.
Okay. So that was interesting to see the home. I haven't seen the picture of the home. I got to get some screenshots of that. Anywho, let's get caught up here. House is in plain sight. Yeah, just like everything else. Thank you so much for the $2. I'm just seeing if there's anything posted that might give us anything else here. Just looking at Reddit. So, oh, there's one more. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, nothing new. Okay. So just double checking to make sure if there was any new information. I think that's it. So final thoughts.
Well, there's what's about to happen to Richard Allen is that they're going to go in. They're going to learn everything from his financial. When they do a offender profile, they're going to know everything about from the time that he was born, where he's lived, unsolved crimes, places he's visited, and his life is going to be under a microscope from the time that he can walk until the day he was arrested. Financials, everything will be looked at by not only the local law enforcement, by the FBI and everyone else, that whatever resources they can bring to the table, they will. And hopefully that will answer a lot of questions. And it will answer a lot of questions. And it will also be able to be brought into court through certain proceedings of what his whole life and how it led up to what happened that day. And I look forward to some of those answers.
Yeah, I'm sure we all do. See if I took any other notes I missed. They did ask about the Klines. Of course, they didn't comment on that. I can't remember if I asked you. What do you think on the Klines? I can't remember if I asked you.
Oh, the door's open to that. Because they've had it whereas they left the door open if he had other people's involvement. And we don't know how many times, we know that Libby and Abby were catfished by the Klines. Doesn't mean that they were the only ones that catfished Libby and Abby. Yeah. And so we don't know how in victimologies, the victims cross paths with their killer at some point in time. Sometimes that is days, weeks, months in advance. Sometimes it's hours or just minutes prior to the murder. And law enforcement is going to try to identify their first contacts, the first time their paths crossed, and at what point did he target Libby and Abby? Weeks before, days before, or minutes before? And because that's going to answer a huge amount, and law enforcement is looking into that as we speak, and they're through the tips and also through future tips.
Yeah. Steve, do you think they could have committed other previous murders?
And that's why I was saying that they're going to put him under a microscope and check. He has the potential. I mean, anyone that would do what he did to these two beautiful children has the potential not only to have committed crimes prior to, but also crimes since. And so they're going to look at that.
Yeah. Rich Allen lived in Peru, Indiana years ago, just down the street from Kegan Kline. This was just discovered. Interesting. Yeah, I knew he moved around. He's been at that one residence, this current residence, for 16 years. But yeah, he did move around. Interesting. I have his background report, and I just haven't had time because everything just kind of has been going one thing after another. So I haven't really had much time to do a whole lot of digging in. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing here. But interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Daniel. That'd be interesting. Because I know he lived in Monticello and then a couple other towns. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah. Mugshot is up on Twitter. Yeah. Yeah, let's check Twitter. Let's before we anything. Libby. Sorry, guys. I'll pull it up on the screen once I get it here. Oh, yeah, yeah. In the same room. Oh, here, I'll just save the image. There we go. And video file. Oops, not video file. Share screen. One more time. So here's that close up of that. So there he is. Let's go. 3,000. Where the killings? Resident of the city of 3,000. So yeah, not a big town. So Art McDonald's explaining about the search of Richard Allen. The search took 12 hours. Ooh. Let's check Barbara McDonald real quick here. That's who I wanted to look up. She's been part of the Down the Hill podcast, been here from the beginning. Okay. All right, we'll play one more thing. This is a new interview I haven't heard. Okay, I got to remove it so you guys can hear it. We'll do one more here. Barbara McDonald. There we go. Okay, let's play this.
There could be a major
Can you hear
development
that?
today.
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
There could be a major development today in the 5-year murder mystery in Delphi, Indiana. State police are expected to make a big announcement about the case of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. They went missing on an afternoon hike in 2017. The remains of the 13 and 14-year-old girls were found the next day. No one's ever been named a suspect. Police did release a grainy image and a recording of a voice that was captured by
So Barbara McDonald's going to come on, just for those that are wondering.
Liberty's phone. Our investigative producer, Barbara McDonald, has been covering the case, and she is in Delphi, joins us live at this early hour. Good morning. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Robin. I am outside the United Methodist Church here in Delphi, Indiana, where at 10 a.m. the Indiana State Police, Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Prosecutor's Office, and U.S. Marshal's Office are holding a press conference to announce an update in this nearly 6-year-old unsolved murder investigation. I spoke with Superintendent Doug Carter of the Indiana State Police by phone. He tells me that there is progress in the case, but the bad news is they're not going to be able to tell us a lot about it, even at this press announcement today. They are expecting to release a name and a photograph. They have not confirmed to us that a person is in custody in connection with this case, but a name and a photograph certainly sounds like they are going to be announcing the identity of someone and letting us know what their connection is to this case. We are here for that. We will.
Okay, gotta pause it just to kind of talk over it. Let me snag these. Sarian, I hope I said that right. All I need to know from him is why did he do it? Why them? I don't care what he did to them, just why. Poor Libby and Abby didn't deserve the end they got. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for the $5. But at least, justice is coming. Does anyone know if he rides motorcycles? I don't know. I'm sure the web sleuthing community is going to dig real hard into his background. So I'm sure we'll be some new information from the sleuths.
We'll carry it live at 10 a.m. And there's a lot of excitement in the air here, Robin.
Yeah, after all these years, how are the girls' families and the community reacting?
You know, there's a lot of excitement. A lot of people do believe that this is it. This is the break they've been waiting for in this case. We will find that out later today, of course. But we did catch up over the weekend as we've been chatting with family members and friends and community members of the girls. We chatted with Denise and Cynthia Rossi, and they were featured in HLN's Down the Hill podcast about this case. They are family friends with Abby's family. They knew both girls. Cynthia went to school with them, was the same age. Here's how they're feeling about today's announcement.
At first, I had all the hope in the world. And as time went on and it didn't pan out, I lost more and more faith. I hate to say that, but I did. I really wanted I wanted this to at least have this piece to happen before the kids graduated, before Abby and Libby's graduating class graduated. And when that didn't happen, my heart started to sink, and I wondered. I always had hope, but I was less optimistic as time went on.
There's a lot of hopefulness.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Lost is not alone. That's Tony D. That's he's from EquiSearch. I got to work with Tony, Danny, and Twyla. Amazing people. They volunteer to help search for missing people. It's amazing work, and he taught me a lot about using the drone. So thank you so much, Tony, for being here. We just got done watching the press conference. There's at least one case that looks like it's going to be solved when the time is right. But happy and humbled and honored to have you in the chat, because I got to work with him for the last 6 days or 5 days looking for Dylan rounds. So honored to have you in there, Tony. Okay, there's a little bit more.
That this is it, that this will be the end of what our town has been experiencing for so long. I also hope that justice will be served, and that's what the news is on Monday, and I'm assuming that that's what the news is on Monday. Generally, just a lot of hopefulness.
And Superintendent Doug Carter also reminded me that this is not the end of the investigation. Whatever is announced today, there is a whole new chapter that will begin in this case. The families were given a brief update last week, but they are expecting to get more information this morning prior to the press conference. That's exactly how it was handled in 2019, the last time a press conference was held in this case. That was 3.5 years ago, Robin.
All right. Thank you so much, Barbara McDonald. Appreciate it, live in Delphi. And watch our special coverage.
Okay. There's that. I was just wondering if there was tidbits from Barbara, but yeah, if there is, I'm sure there's going to be new stuff that the sleuths kind of come up with. But it's been a long couple of days. It's been a long week and a half for me. Coming back from the desert searching for Dylan and then straight into this. I'm exhausted, but I'm excited. I'm still in shock, as a lot of people are. That long goatee looks prototypical for bike riders. Yeah. That's true. Thanks so much for the $2, Tom. So I think we're about to finish up here. Any last final thoughts, Steve?
No, I'm just glad that we're here. I'm glad that the community can take a sigh of a breath of relief, and I can also. And I'm looking forward to those court dates and whatever's in the future for Libby and Abby and their families. It's been such a long time.
Yeah, Chris, do you think his DNA was a match? Oh, that's tough to answer. There's something. I've heard rumors that, like I said, I think we talked about it earlier, that there was rumors that they digged up a pet in the yard. I mean, there's so many theories out there.
Now that brings up an interesting point of DNA. Now they have a home, they have vehicles, and you have victims. So you have the reverse, that DNA match may come from suspects' belongings to the victims. So everything's going to be processed. So this opens up a whole new stream of possible and potential evidence in the future from what he brought from the crime scene to his environment, and which is huge. If they can find Libby or Abby's DNA, blood on shoes, clothing, inside the vehicle, off a seatbelt, any of that will be nails in the coffin.
Yeah. Mob Crew True Crime. If RA's wife knew what he did a while ago, could she also be charged with anything? If she knew, I don't think so. But if she helped with covering up anything or lied to police when they ask her about it, then she could be charged, right?
Yeah, I mean, how to prove knowledge is one thing. How to prove participation is different.
Sure. So I guess it kind of depends on what she did.
Yes.
If she did anything. But yeah, it's a good question. Would like to ask Tony if they had searched for a certain person at another time. Not understanding I wish I knew. They've done a lot of searches. I couldn't tell you exactly which ones, but they've done a lot because he's part of EquiSearch. Sorry, Tom. I wish maybe if you could text me, I could ask him because I have his number. But thank you so much for the $5. But yeah, they've done a lot of great work looking for the missing. Oh, I think I might know what you'd be asking. Yeah, I'm not sure. Just seeing if there's any other little questions before we end it here. Does anyone know if he still has the same truck? I believe so. Yeah, because I was able to get the VIN number, and it's that silver, and we heard they picked up a silver Dodge Ram. So I believe that's the same truck that's in the background report. Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know if that was on purpose. That could have been law enforcement. I'm sure the wife, I'm sure she was getting probably harassing messages, so she probably took that down. So that's kind of not a surprise. But yeah, I don't know if he had a Facebook account before this, took it down after, because we could only really access the wife. Yeah, silver Dodge Ram. So, once again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune in to this channel and spend the morning here with me and Steve. I want to wish everybody a happy Halloween. Be safe out there. And thank you to the mods. And of course, thank you all for your donations and all the new members, the support, everything that comes into this channel. I put right back into help looking for the missing. And for the members and regular subs, I do have some stuff coming from the Dylan Rounds thing that I just spent, almost a week doing. So that'll be coming soon. I just haven't had time because as soon as I got back, this, this case broke. So I just haven't had time to put all the footage together, but I will real soon. Got tons of stuff for regular subs and tons of stuff for the members. So that'll be coming real soon. So I see a lot of thank you, Steve.
Of
course, yeah. Always an honor to have Steve on here and get his wisdom. Where will the trial be? Yeah, we don't know. Just to recap, the 2 dates that they mentioned was January 13th of next year and March 20th of next year, but that seems a little soon. So I'm sure we'll probably see some continuations, but we'll see. But they also, and then just to recap, they are going to have a public hearing on whether they'll release the affidavit, affidavit would have, information about what's going on, correct?
Oh, yes. There's going to be a lot of information out there, and it's probably a lot of documentation, because the probable cause isn't just, whenever they're talking about it, that when you see it in its typed, simplest form on a affidavit is one thing, but there's a lot more investigations and a lot more information and interviews and things that people are going to request that led up to that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing whatever they will release at its earliest point.
Yeah. Just take one last look, see if there's any other things that I see, but I'm sure there will be soon. So let me remove that. Get that out of the way. And so I'm going to play an outro with my viewers' pets. I do got a new one coming soon. I just got to take a break and recuperate from just everything, because like I said, I just got back from the trip, so I'm still worn out, but yeah, so much mixed feelings after all these long years, but happy. Yeah, I think we should be happy. I know we didn't get the information a lot of people are hoping, but it will come soon. They got to protect it because they've come this far. It makes sense. They're going to keep everything to the vest, close to the vest, until the time is right. So,
absolutely. Just throw me in the background, and I thank you for having me, and it's been an honor, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Sounds good, buddy. Honored to have you in here, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy. All right, guys. Like I said, just thank you so much. Have a safe and happy Halloween. You guys are amazing, and we'll probably go live tomorrow, have some videos, and like I said, the stuff from Dylan Rounds is coming soon for both subscribers and members. So just be a little patient with me. I've got to recuperate from everything. So we're gonna go ahead and play the outro. I love you guys, and we'll see you guys real soon.